Oh, great job, Sally. So now you have to go up and get your coffee in 20 seconds.
Actually, I've got a minion.
Oh, wow, that's pretty fancy. What do you
Wow.
what are you
Don't,
drinking?
oh, God darn, my minion just spilled my coffee. Don't ever let Bill know I call him my minion, or I'm going to lose any of this great.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's a good thing Bill's deaf.
Yeah, that's an age thing. There are benefits. Selective hearing is one of them.
Use it a lot.
Okay, so today with us, we got Don. His last name's Oswald, but it's probably a fake name. Probably an alias.
Yep.
So Don has been in the group that Sally and I are in with tech for, what is it? Was it started 2.5 years ago now?
I think it's been more than that. I think it's been like three and a half, something like that.
It's forever. So
Yeah.
anyways, he's been in it from the get-go with me. And I actually hung out with him sometime last week, because Don lives in Arizona, was traveling to Detroit for work, which is where I live.
Stop. I have to say, born in Arizona, moved to Babylonia.
I have no idea what are you saying?
Half of the people who watch this will get it. The other half I don't care about. So anyway, you're in Arizona. You're in Phoenix.
Yeah, but those are the less important viewers, Sally.
Watch it. I am just one click. I could just mute you all forever.
Okay. Anyways, so
opinion.
Are you done, Sally?
Never.
Okay, good. Anyways, so hung out with Don last week in Detroit. He was here for business. And I thought we had a really interesting chat about Don's experience with reselling, because he's been doing it for 7 years.
I don't know. Sure, something like that. Yeah.
A while. So longer than Sally and I. He's been successful at it. He's been managing a family at the same time. He does it pretty seriously. So I think he calls it his second shift of every day.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a little YouTube thing for a while. So he's had a whole lot of things to balance, and the YouTube thing was reselling based. So I just wanted to get him on and talk about all those experiences, how he's kind of managed them, and how it relates to reselling.
Well, what amazes me is you've been doing all these things, and you look very sane, and yet I think it would take a crazy person to do all the things you've tackled in the last 8 years, I think. Plus, you like you said, that this is your second job. So do you work at job A during the day, or are you a shift worker?
I work at job A during the day. It's 8 to 5 traditional. I'm in an office right now. I'm downtown Phoenix on the 6th floor. 60 people around me, so it's the, we used to wear suit and tie before the pandemic, and, travel, all that good stuff. So I've been doing this for 35 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm old. I'm not quite 50 yet, but I'm close.
Hey,
child, don't
Don,
start with me.
Don, do you know that's old? That's longer than I've been alive.
Yeah, are we allowed to swear during this, or do I have to keep it clean?
Oh no, we're trying to get monetized. No.
Okay,
no swear words.
I'll keep it clean. Yeah, that's a long time. Yeah.
Well, how do you did you embark on reselling as a side hustle, as reward? Why did you start?
I jumped into it years ago with baseball cards, right? We would take these baseball cards, and we would send letters to baseball players and ask them to sign the cards and send them back. And, there's a whole, like, that's a whole nother thing. And, it was to fund my kids' college. Like we called it Cards for College. And we did it for a while, but, my kids really, they weren't into baseball, and they just weren't grasping onto it. But, I started selling them online, and for a little while. This is, probably 10, 12 years ago. And I just got out of it. I mean, I never really realized, eBay was a way to make money. And just a few years ago, there's some bad years here in Phoenix, and, I wasn't making bonus, and I was like, screw it, I'm going to get a side hustle. And I think I started watching YouTube, and it was, the guy in Chicago, Craigslist Hunter or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I started watching him, and then got into some of the others, and I was like, hey, I'm going to go try this. And
did you try again with baseball cards, or did you?
No, I still have them, but No, I haven't tried with baseball cards. I was going to garage sales. I grew up doing garage sales with my parents in Chicago, and you know, and just I was selling everything. I mean, if if it had, you know, mugs and glasses and, you know, you name it, I was selling it. And um, you know, clothing, I didn't have that much clothing. It was all speakers and all kinds of stuff. And, you know, my garage was a mess. And then I kind of got hooked up on Instagram with tech and sports. And I was like, wow, this guy is amazing. He has all this stuff in his garage. And, you know, back then I think he was in his garage. He had all the, you know,
Wow.
the PVC piping and, you know, and so I was reaching out and like trying to connect with him. And then I made a t-shirt buy here in Phoenix. There was a concert promoter that was that had passed away. His daughter was selling away all of his t-shirts, and so I bought them, and that's how I got Tech's attention. I was like, hey, look, vintage t-shirts, you know. So we started going back and forth on Instagram, and he was hinting around that, hey, I'm gonna, you know, create this really small group, maybe 100 people. And I was like, sign me up. And that's how I got involved with Tech. But yeah, reselling, you know, when I first got into it, I was like, hey, I'm making $30 a week. This is great. You know, this is extra income.
It actually bought you 3 or 4 Starbucks, right?
Oh yeah. I could, you know, we can go out to dinner and go into Sizzler or something, right? So yeah, and then it just kind of snowballed, and I started making some really good money, and I was making my car payment, and then I was making my other car payment, and now I'm sending my daughter to college, and it's just it's been really great. And you know, it's an addiction, right? I mean, you guys know.
Yes.
It's
Yep.
it's not just a side hustle, it's an addiction. I mean, I couldn't imagine stopping, you know. I don't know what I'd do with myself. So yeah.
How large is your store now?
What's that?
How large is your store now?
I'm not huge. So I, you know, this, you know, like I said, this is my second job, and I think I got 3,300 items.
That's big. I'm sitting here at a little under 1,000, so that sounds like a big store to me.
Yeah.
Sally sucks.
Well, now I just niche clothing. So, you know, just I've kind of drank the Kool-Aid with Tech and sports, and I just do clothing. I'm slowly selling out of all the other stuff. I'm not going to donate it because I spent the time to photograph it and list it, and it's slowly selling through. But now it's all you know, shorts, shirts, clothes, that kind of thing. So
Did your kids ever want to get involved?
Not at first, right? My kids were embarrassed, right? I got Goodwill in the garage, and you know, that's not something to be proud of when you're a kid, you know. So, but you know, my oldest daughter, started, you know, going to Goodwill, and you know, vintage is cool, right? So she would get, you know, vintage clothing, and now she takes all my photos, and she's kind of getting into it. So she goes to ASU, and it's real nice. You know, it provides her some extra income. I mean, I could take the photos myself. I used to do that, but you know, provides her some extra income, helps me out. And she actually got a job. One of her jobs is Plato's Closet. So she brings home, you know, she'll bring home Doc Martens that she bought, you know, for $20, and we'll flip them for, you know, 60, 70 or whatever.
So how did you convince her to take your photos for you? Because that's something that I know a lot of people are interested in. How can I get my family involved in this?
Well, so I've got a light box in the garage, and I mean, it's money. I mean, she's like me. I mean, I'm money hungry, right? So, you know, I pay her $2 an item, and I think she takes 100 photos a week for me. So, you know, that's pretty good income for, you know, a college student, when, you know, she's not having to drive to. She can take it at home in her spare time and whatnot. So, you know, she jumped at the chance. So
I can't remember if it was you last week. I was talking to somebody, and the statement of, to really succeed at eBay, you have to really like money. And it was, and it's definitely something that when it came up, I was like, yeah, no, that definitely seems to be true, because it's like the addiction of actually listing and selling something is totally different than the addiction of finding something. And eBay is both of them combined.
Mhm.
Can't just find and not list.
I don't necessarily agree with that. It- You have to like money, but if money were the only motivator, you could probably start out and go sling hamburgers. They're paying $17, $18 an hour at McDonald's part-time.
I'm not saying that it's if you like money, if you like making money and seeing your bank account grow, eBay is the only thing you can do. I'm just saying, in order to succeed at eBay, you really have to have a real interest in making money, not just in buying things and doing, I don't know, the other things affiliated with eBay. Because like Don said, it's an addiction, and you kind of really have to have that
I
addiction.
agree with that. And for me, I keep saying over and over, I'm a process person. I'm addicted to the process. You know, I love the old Rube Goldberg things, another reference you won't know, where you put a thing in this end and it goes through all kinds of stuff and kicks the bucket and stuff and it comes out the other end. I love the process. So for me, the money is only an indication of how well the process works. But yeah, I guess
It's just the money for me.
Yeah,
I don't know
I'm
what
in the
you're talking
same
about.
boat. I'm in the same boat. I know. I'm like, some of the stuff I find is pretty cool, but I
You
don't
want
keep
money.
any of it. Yeah, sometimes I have a hard time being like, I think that item's cooler than that offer I just got. But as time goes on, the more I'm like, no, I'd rather have the money than that stupid item. So
Don,
give
we
and take.
sometimes wander off topic
Well, all right.
occasionally. And you know what fascinates me about Phoenix? I understand that you have actually driverless Uber.
Yeah. It's called, I think it's
Really?
Waymo or Whammo or something like that. Yeah.
I had a guy do it and he said, Sally said this car pulls up and you open the door and I think he said a screen inside that said, hello, Mr. Lim. It was Jit. Hello, Mr. Lim. And he said it was really strange, but it worked great. And I said, well, I don't know if I trust it. And he said, well, I wondered that too. So he said, I jumped in front of it while it was moving to see if it would.
That's smart. That's smart.
Yeah, not smart. And he says, it stopped. And I said, well, obviously, because you're telling me this story. But so you haven't done it yet, but you know about it. I said, I can hardly wait to do that.
No, the cool thing, you'll be going down the freeway, you'll see a driverless semi. They have drivers in it, right?
Semi?
Yeah, they're testing the semis right now. Yeah, but think about it. You've got drivers that are tired. They've been driving for 8-12 hours, and that's even more dangerous than an autonomous semi. So it's a little scary, but
I'd be really impressed when they figure out the backup mechanism on those driverless
Oh
semis.
yeah, that's crazy.
That's always the part I'm like, man, those guys that are able to back it up and just bumper put, impressive stuff. Anyways, so the whole time you've been doing this, Don, you've been able to manage having a family. Have you actually been a good dad, or have you just been living in your goodwill in the garage?
He's a crappy dad.
I'm horrible, man. No. I mean, you got to have good support. And, my wife is, although she doesn't get involved in the eBay business, it doesn't interest her in the least. She's the one that helps with homework and I have 3 segments of my life. I've got, my eBay business, I've got my family, and I've got, my day job, and the day job, it pays the mortgage and whatnot. So, sometimes I have to prioritize. My family's, important. And, if I we're going out for a birthday dinner or something like that, and that's my listing time, I just know I have to, I'll be up till 2 a.m. listing. So I'm pretty methodical. I try not to miss days. I travel about once a month for my day job, so that's always a treat. Just coming back to 60 different orders
The logistics of it. I understand you did the YouTube channel. Did you say?
Yeah. It was so I had the chest camera and I'd go to a garage sale and just kind of film the whole day. And garage sales here in Phoenix, I mean, the weather is wonderful most of the year. So, we have sales from, all year long, but, you'll go to like a community sale and we have these huge subdivisions here and there'll be, 200 garage sales within, just go at 1 to 1 to 1.
Oh, wow.
And that's, that's a great source of inventory here. Cause, Gratz Hills, your cost of inventory is a lot lower. But yeah, so I had the chest camera and we were making videos and it was fun, but man, the editing and I was spending so much time in just editing, getting them up online.
And that's kind of addictive too, isn't it? You do it and then you say, wait a minute, I could do that a little bit better. Let me tweak that. It's because that's where I am right now. It's if we do a 20-minute video, it takes me 20 minutes because I need to watch it, figure out what I'm going to edit. And what takes me about 3 times the length of a video in order to edit and get it ready.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was addicting. I had people coming up to me locally saying, hey, I saw you on YouTube. And,
Really?
and that, I mean, more than once. And that's like, that's like a big endorphins. Yeah. I'm like, hey, I'm famous, people are watching me and taking my content. And I loved it. I mean, if I didn't have my day job, I'd probably do it, but anything that takes me away from my listing, my daily listing goal and my shipping, time is a commodity. And, I manage my time very carefully. I'm up at 5-6 a.m. every morning doing my shipping. I'm out the door by 8:30 to come downtown. And then at lunchtime, I'm hitting a thrift store. After work, I hit 2 more. So I'm hitting 2 to 3 thrift stores a day.
Wow.
And then in the evening, it's dinner time with the family, maybe watch a quick movie. And then from 8 to midnight, sometimes later, I'm listing, every night.
Oh.
So
Man, you're getting no sleep. It's impressive.
I don't know
have
how
some brownies that'll fix that.
you got some brownies that'll fix that.
It's
It's legal here.
yeah, me too. Or I wouldn't be saying it.
So
Wow.
yeah, I've learned the importance of afternoon naps, like little 10-15 minute naps. It's great. But I get about 4 or 5 hours a night. And I'm not bragging about that because that's horrible for me. But yeah, I operate at about 4 or 5 hours a night. So
Well, you look awake and all of that. You were talking about, editing and these other little pet projects we get that eat into the day. It's kind of like owning an exotic pet. You want to take it out and play with it once in a while, but you better have it in a cage when you're not looking because it might eat you. And that's kind of the same thing with these little pet projects, squirrel brain things that we kind of go off and do. You were smart enough to shut the door and throw away the key to the YouTube editing because that one will get you. It's getting me right now.
yeah, no, I'll tell you, you see some of the photos in the Facebook group, and everyone's got these these great storage racks, and all their stuff's put away in these these great boxes, and it's all bagged and stuff. I mean, I'd be embarrassed to show you I'm organized. I know where everything's at. But it's not pretty.
All right. Well, I might, in the Facebook group, I might call you out. Be like, Don, I hear you got a great storage system.
Yeah, it's organized. I know where everything's at, but and I don't have a death pile, but
Oh yeah, me neither.
well,
I've got everybody's death pile.
I got a mountain.
So tell me, if there were anything you would do differently and this is a terrible question to ask, but
yeah,
would you have not started the YouTube channel? Would you have, is there anything you would have, if you could course correct in reverse, that you would do? You seem pretty happy.
yeah, I mean, it's I've got a pretty good operation. I mean, it's I have my slow times and my busy times, and my family's grounded, and my day job, I'm a sales guy, and I do pretty well at what I do. So I don't know. I'm sure there's stuff I would change, but nothing that jumps out.
When people ask me that question, and it's a terrible question, I always have to say that, like you, I've been through some real ups and downs, but if changing any one of those things would stop me from sitting here right today, drinking this cup of coffee, talking to you, if it would change that, so that wouldn't happen, I wouldn't want to change. I think it's the culmination of the crap as well as the good stuff that lets us sit here and be relatively happy, 3 people talking to each other, me drinking coffee, and you having your life handled, and Thomas, well, let's forget Thomas, he's a lost cause. But anyway, I think it's the culmination of things, and you certainly have a lot of ingredients in your recipe for a happy life. I have
Yeah.
been talking with you tremendously.
Yeah. 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 We talked, I think Thomas and I talked about growth last week and whatnot. And, I'd love to grow it, but my growth is a little bit slower. I'm a very cautious person. Um, I have to have that safety net, right? And
Mhm.
You got a
I'm
family.
I'm happy to grow my business. And Sally, when I started with tech 3 years ago, I had 800 in my inventory, and when I hit 1,000, I posted like, "Hey, I made it." Text like, "Yeah, I have 37,000." It's like, so yeah, and I'm up to 32 now. It took me a few years to get there, but I think if I were to grow my business, the eBay business, I'd have to give up something else. And like, I'm not going to give up my family. And right now, like I said, my day job pays the mortgage, um, the Chris Lynn thing really, it shook me up, right? I was like, hey, I'm gonna grow my business, and I'm gonna, quit my day job, and the sky's the limit. And certainly that's there, it's available. But I don't care how careful you are. Um,
Crap happens.
Crap happens, and at that same week, I think I got like a couple Veros like right in a row. I was like, man, yeah, and I got suspended for 3 days, and that was the longest 3 days of my life, right? And it was stuff that was legit. I have hats, right? I sell quite a few hats, and I have a local New Era rep that he's a sales guy. He sells the hats, and he gets rid of them, and I bought them, well, cheap. I bought like 1,500 hats the first load, and he kind of replenishes me. And one of these hats came up on a Vero, and I mean, I had like his invoices, like I had backup, and
Wow.
like I sent it to New Era. I was on this thing for 2-3 weeks, and just no response, no nothing. So there's no recourse, right? You can do everything right, um, and you get this Vero, and the other one was stupid. The other one, it was my fault, right? It was some new tags, North Face, brand, and that was my fault, right? But the other stuff, the hat was legit, and I got this ding, and like one more, I'm going to be suspended for a week, and so it kind of shook me up a little bit, and um, although I still have a plan for growth, um, I'm a little bit more cautious now, so that makes sense.
And so, last question,
Yeah.
if you were to grow it right now, what's your biggest obstacle besides, time?
Cost of goods, and that's it's not even a obstacle, right? It's because I know how to do it, and during the pandemic, everyone was working from home, and I had more time, and I had people sourcing for me that I found on Instagram, and I had Facebook Marketplace ads, and Craigslist ads, and I had a lot of inventory coming in, right? Because I had the time to devote to it, and now, because of my schedule, because work's picked up, I'm kind of forced to go to the thrift stores, and the cost of goods there, the prices are only going up. So it's
Mhm.
but from a time perspective, it's organized. I can get in and out of a store. I can decimate a store within 45 minutes. And I can hit 2 or 3 of them a day. So that's a consistent source of inventory for me.
Mhm.
And I can count on it, right? But the cost of goods is a little bit higher.
That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that, but you're absolutely right. And I don't know, the buying public is always a stroke or two behind the selling public in terms of recognizing the cost of goods going up. All of a sudden they see something that was 20, now it's 25, and they're saying, what are you trying to do? Rob me.
Yeah, no, and I don't have time to go to the bins and sit there all day and look for 35-cent polos and whatever it is. I don't do dollar days. I source. I know what to look for. I have a really good eye. My average my SP's just around $30 right now, and I'm making profit per item. I make on average about $13. So but if I could lower that cost of goods, and like I said, it's not an obstacle. It's just, I guess time is the obstacle, right? It's, if I had more time,
You go research better sourcing and set up better. Yeah, but you've got a bunch of things in the air and you're balancing them right now. You hate to do anything that's going to foul it up. And the part
Yeah.
about any one of these things, as you know, with COVID, you said your job took a plunge. Who could have predicted COVID?
yeah.
And
I mean,
you can't predict when you're going to get suspended on eBay for doing what you think is the right thing. So
Yep.
it sounds like you have you have things in balance. And I think having a family kind of makes you think about having plan B and C.
yeah, COVID was actually great for my business for eBay, right? For everyone else,
Mhm.
right? I mean, I don't, it's no secret. I have my 90 days about, it waffles back and forth, 32, 34,000 right now. But during the pandemic, I was at 50,000 for my 90 day, so it's, the pandemic was great for eBay,
Mhm.
at the peak. So it's come down a little bit. So, but yeah.
Well,
Still
Thomas,
pretty good.
I didn't know this man, and I'm glad I know him, and I may call on him because he sounds like he has some really good ideas. I am struggling at
I'm brilliant.
$2,000 a month.
What's that?
I'm struggling at 2,000 a month. That's my sales. I can't seem to get over it. Thomas is prodding me constantly, and it's working to look for higher quality goods, and so I'm learning, but the learning curve should not be underestimated in any of these things we do, whether it's a YouTube channel or it's a eBay. It just is. There's no magic button for it. It's just time.
Yeah. I mean, being part of the group, that's invaluable. I don't always have the time, and quite honestly, the time, it's East Coast right now is 3 hours different. So when those calls are going on, I'm at work, and, so I don't get to participate in the calls as much, but, a lot of what I learned is from that group, and a lot of the, I mean, it's, I do a lot of, I do it the tech way, right? It's I have the rack system at home, and
Wow.
I'm certainly not at his level, but I think the principles he teaches, are great. And I have an hour commute downtown every day, so I'm always watching.
Man.
Yeah, I'm always watching a YouTube, channel or rebroadcast of the calls or whatnot. So, in the car, so it's probably not too
Cool.
safe. But
Well, I don't know. They're driverless in Phoenix.
this is true.
So
This is true. So,
anyways, okay. Thank you, Don. Much appreciated. We'll reach out soon. And that's Thomas and Sally's World. Started by Thomas, ended with Sally.
Oh, what do you mean started by Thomas?
The name Thomas, it started Thomas.
I have
and
an
Sally's World.
eyelash that's been alive longer than you have, to put it
Yeah,
nicely.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you started it. It just means that,
Let's argue later. Don't
there's
embarrass
dirt and you're
yourself
older than it.
in front of
Good.
this nice man. See you
Yeah.
later.
Bye, Don.
all right, we'll see you.